Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to our special webinar tonight. Tonight we're talking about English confidence for freelancers. So talking about effective communication. If you can hear me and if you can see me, please say hi in the comments down below. I see already a number of people have commented. Give me English one moment confidence. Here. Let me just okay. I see your comments over here. Hello, Eve, Pehid. Joseph, hello Ivan, from Baguio, Mick, Lebiam, Carmi, Angela, Christina, Jobel, Says, Edson, Maybelline, Agatha, Marceline, Anna, Ivan, Vivian, Rose, Eve, from Concepcion, Tarlac, Bianca, Envy, Marianne from Binangonan. Nice. Jigs, hello. Yeah, thank you for sharing this, Jigs. For everyone else, this would, if you think other people would benefit from this, I would also really encourage you to share this on your Facebook wall as well. Hello, Riston. Hello, Carmi from Cavite, Tres Martires. Hello, Samuel, Eileen. Hello, Michael, Bianca, Lebiam. Oh, we're we have a lot of people tonight. Lou, Anne, Bunny, Agatha, Mick, Abigail, Riston from Davao. Hello. Check. Let me adjust the volume over here. Thank you for the comment, Ivan. Is this better? There's a 30-second delay, by the way, so I can't hear. I won't be able to see the comments right away, but I think this should be better right now. Hello, Mary Flor. Hello, Janice, Alma, Vivian from Davao, and Anne. Mahina yung audio, pero it should be stronger now. Let me know if okay na po yung audio. All right. So yeah, tonight we're dealing with English confidence for freelancers. We who thinks that this is important? Para sa akin, this is pretty important. Okay. Thanks, Ivan. And let me know if okay na yung volume. Let me know if you think this is important. Well, you're attending tonight, so I hope you know that this is important when it comes to English confidence for freelancers, because we want to communicate effectively, diba? We want to be diba, great communicators. We want to be successful in our freelance careers. Now, it's a bit noisy. Teka lang, patayin ko lang ano. AC. Baka nag-pick up. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started tonight. We only have an hour to talk about this, so it's a like a 1 hour crash course. Let's jump right ahead into our coverage for today. So we're going to be answering the following questions here. First of all, how good in English do you need to be to really get hired? Right. We'll talk about some common Filipinoisms, common grammar mistakes, how to feel confident when speaking to clients, some best practices to properly communicate with English-speaking clients. Okay, so this is our coverage for tonight. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know in the comment section down below so that we can address them, and maybe we'll talk about them later on. Also, by the way, for everybody here, we do have a certificate of completion, right? So stay tuned, stay until the end to get the instructions. Okay, so you have to stay until the end, you have to watch this through, and we have some instructions so that you can get your certificate of completion. And this certificate, it's open for everybody, it's free for everybody. You can put this on your Upwork profile, on your LinkedIn profile, on your online jobs.ph profile, and it's a strong portfolio item, and it looks nice too, diba? Okay, good to hear. Vivian, let me know if it's still noisy. I turned off the AC. Fan lang muna. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Now, a lot of you guys a lot of people have had this concern, diba? A lot of people have asked me this and brought this concern. Hindi ako pwede sa freelancing kasi hindi ako magaling sa English. Have you felt this way before? Let me know. Raise your hand. Say me if you felt this way before. If you've been affected by this concern before. If you've this. Okay, there we go. So naulit yung slides, pero anyway, here we are. Now the bad news is that most of your possible clients will be native English speakers. Okay, they're going to be native English speakers, and that's the bad news. But the good news is that most of your possible clients are not very strict when it comes to English. Okay, kahit native speaker sila, hindi sila strict when it comes to speaking English. You know, when we've dealt with a Filipino company, diba? We've dealt with a lot of us. We've applied. I applied to call center before, and I know how the standards are. In any corporate job in the Philippines, yung recruitment officers are very strict, right? They're very strict with English, and us Filipinos, we're very we notice yung mga mistakes when other people make mistakes. We notice very well and we point them out, diba? It's become a thing sa mga Filipinos. But with Americans and with other English speakers, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. For them, it's okay when you make mistakes. For example, in Anne's case, diba? Sabi niya, she's an English tutor but not confident applying as a freelancer. Is it because, but I'm assuming that you do have a good level of English naman, diba? Because you're an English tutor. Who said me? Who's affected by this? Ang dami, diba? Si Jay, si Pehid, si Bianca, Queen, Marian, a lot more. I won't read everyone because we're gonna run out of time. But yeah, our clients, even though they speak English, they're not very strict when it comes to English speaking. In fact, a lot of clients, they make grammar mistakes, they make spelling mistakes. Na para sa ating mga Filipino who are very used to being super strict with English, it's a big no-no, diba? It's a big no-no na you make grammar mistakes, na you make spelling mistakes. Pero for them, it's okay. For them, it's okay when you make grammar and spelling mistakes. I stayed in the US for a couple of years and I was shocked na they make mistakes. Like even when sending emails, even when having conversations, they make mga common mistakes that in our culture, parang it's a big no-no. So it's normal. It's okay for them, and that's something we have to understand. Iba yung culture when it comes to that. Now, let's try to answer this question. How good in English do you need to be to get hired? I have an interview here with Emmanuel Domingo. Let me try to share this. Teka lang, ha? Let me share this
Sir
here.
Jason, yung post ko dun sa kabilang group.
Okay, wait. Let me... Oh, sorry about I forgot to load this right here. And I'm going to share this interview I had with Emmanuel Domingo. And let me transition that. Okay, there we go.
Group natin. Actually, alam mo, nabasa niyo ba, Sir Jason, yung post ko dun sa kabilang group natin? Actually, alam mo, nag-post ako dun. I have one client from UK. Yung hindi pa siya kumikita pero binabayaran niya na ako. Binibigyan niya na ako. Hanggang ngayon, client ko pa rin siya. Natutuwa ako kasi nagmo-move na yung software namin. Alam mo, ang na huling nagkwentuhan kami nung client, medyo drama-drama pa sabi ko sa kanya, man, I'm not gonna leave you. I'll make sure that that software will work. Sabi niya sa akin, and I'm honest on my word, nababayaran niya ako ng $50 per hour kapag nagkataon, kapag daw naging successful yung software. So, bakit kami dumating sa punto na yun? Kasi nung nag-start si client ko, as in wala, kami yung nagtulungan para mag-search sa mga gagamitin namin ng materials. Kami yung nag-isip, kami yung nag-conceptualize kung paano kami mag-email marketing. Hanggang sa na-win ko yung heart niya, hanggang sa naging palagay. Siya araw-araw kausap ko talaga, tong taga-UK na to. Yun, share ko lang. Yan, build ng relationship. Di ko lang kung talagang, isa pa yun, yung gamitin natin yung pagiging makwento natin. Alam nyo, guys, ang ganda ng tawag ito, ano ba? Ang ganda ng pagkakakilala sa atin ng mga Amerikano ng mga banyaga. Kilala tayo sa pagiging mabait. Kapag nakakakwentuhan ko yung mga client ko, sinasabi nila pag may nakikita silang Pilipino, lalo na sa US, nagsama-sama, nakikita nila na sobrang babait daw natin. Kaya most of them gustong makipagkwentuhan sa atin. Ang problema, takot tayo. Bakit? Kasi palpak yung English natin. Hello, ako po, ang dami kong grammar lapses. Pero yung kliyente ko nagtatawanan lang kami.
Confidence lang yun. Diba?
Totoo po yun. Confidence lang talaga. Sabi nga nung girlfriend ko pag nakikinig sa akin, naging siya, ang daya mong grammar lapses eh. Siyempre, confidence lang yan. Malay ba yung nagkamali ka, ay nagkakamali din naman sila.
Oo, tama. I want to address this, yung kaya
Sorry about that. Okay, nandito na tayo. I turned off the mic kasi kanina. Pero, bumalik na. Alright. So that was the interview with Emmanuel Domingo. And Angela said here, yeah, yung napanood niya yung interview niya. Very inspiring. Si Ivan niya, very inspiring. Yung interview with Emmanuel. And he is an inspiration, diba? He is really an inspiration with what he's achieved. Pero, there are some lines. Okay na ba yung audio? I think the audio should be okay now. There are some lines na I want you to take note of. There are some lines that I want you to take note of when it comes to that interview. All right. He mentioned a few things. Can you try to point something out na parang na-mention niya? Was there anything that you guys noticed? Well, this is what I want to point out. Diba sabi niya, takot tayo. Bakit? Kasi palpak ang English natin. And then, he talks with his client every day, diba? He was able to charge $50 per hour pa sa client niya. And because kahit palpak yung English niya. And nagtatawanan lang sila when they have a misunderstanding. I want to point this out, diba? Build relationship. Gamitin natin yung pagiging makwento natin. Most of the clients, most of them gusto makipagkwentuhan sa atin. Ang problema, takot tayo. Diba? Bakit? Kasi palpak yung English natin. Sabi niya, this is what he said, hello, ako po, ang dami kong grammar lapses, pero ako at yung client ko ay nagtatawanan lang kami. Confidence lang po talaga. Diba? And that's really what we can, the kind of attitude that we can bring forward and that we can kind of carry over when we're talking to clients. A confidence lang, even when you make mistakes, daw sabi ng girlfriend ni, wife niya ngayon, na dami niyang mga grammar errors, but he's able to build a successful agency. He's a 6-digit earner. He's a successful freelancer, even though he's not really that good in English. Confidence lang talaga. Okay, good to hear the audio is back. Thank you guys. Now, I just wanted to point that out because, he's not perfect in English. Basta makakaintindihan lang sila ni client. That's what's important when it comes to communication. As a confidence lang talaga, malay ba nila mali ka, nagkakamali din naman sila. Yeah, exactly. Diba? Exactly what Jobel is saying there. You don't need perfect English to get hired. Right? You don't need perfect English to get hired. But what do you need then? What do you need when it comes to this communication, English communication and so on? You need to understand what the client is saying. Okay? You need to be able to express yourself and be understood as well. All right. So our focus when it comes to communicating in English, right, is expressing ourselves in English so that clients can understand us. Okay, that's it. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to solve all our grammar mistakes. What's important is that the clients can understand what we're trying to say. Diba? Unless we're a writer. Unless you're a writer, of course, your English needs to be very good. Because you're writing in English. Pero if you're doing VA tasks, if you're doing graphic design, if you're doing mga posting, if you're doing even creating ads, wag lang yung writing. If you're writing, of course, you need to have a certain level of English. Pero in the most of the jobs that we do, that you guys do, we just need to understand the clients and we just need to get them to understand us. That's the most important thing here. Okay, moving on. let's take a look at some common English grammar mistakes. Ay, teka lang, may mga comments dito. Anong sabi ni Christina? Based on my experience po, they don't usually mind grammar as long as you can communicate well, di ba? Tama naman na. Just that they can understand us and we can understand them naman. Very important. As long as you understand each other, yun lang naman. Even if we make mistakes, but as long as you can understand each other, that's the most important thing. Pagkatapos ng webinar, malagdagan pa ng confidence. Nice to hear. Foreigners aren't usually particular about grammar. Filipinos make a big deal about it. Tama talaga, Vivian. Tayo mga Filipino, we're the ones who are very particular. But yeah, we have to understand na yung iba hindi sila ganun. So we shouldn't be so conscious. Conscious tayo when we're applying for jobs locally, when we're talking to other people, di ba? Locally, di ba? Kasi we make a big deal. Pero when we're talking to foreigners, we shouldn't be. It's weird because normally you think you'd be more conscious, but we shouldn't be because it's okay with them. It's okay with them. Okay, let's move on to some common English grammar mistakes that Filipinos make. All right, these are things na we can be aware of and we can improve, diba? And like I said, diba, your grammar doesn't need to be perfect, pero if you can improve it, why not, diba? Why not improve it naman? Okay, so some Filipinoisms, okay? Some Filipinoisms. You know, Filipino English is fine. It's fine with me, diba? But some phrases that we use can be confusing to clients. We talked about na, diba, you should have an understanding with your clients. Sometimes, we use phrases na iba yung meaning sa atin, iba yung meaning sa kanila. So, Filipino English. Filipinoisms refer to speaking English using yung Filipino speech pattern. So, Filipino English. So let's take a look at some Filipinoisms here. Mga words that only Filipinos would understand. First of all is ref. Okay, people don't use the word ref. We use fridge. Okay, they use fridge, not the word ref. Aircon. It's confusing, even though it's short for air conditioning. In the U.S. and other countries, they see AC for short for air conditioning instead of saying aircon. CR, okay, you say, oh, sir, I'm gonna use the CR first. If you're in the middle of the meeting and you say, I'm gonna use the CR first, you're thinking, what's a CR? You know, you can say use a toilet. Different countries use different words actually, pero what's universally understood is toilet. Okay, that's the more universally understood term. McDo. Oh, I bought something from McDonald's. Okay, so mga shortened terms that we use. Some others here, for a while. We say the term for a while. And in English, in Filipino English, that means sandali lang, di ba? Please wait for a while. Please wait, sandali lang, meaning short amount of time. Pero in American or British, when we say for a while, it means kailangan ng ilang oras. It means a long time when we say for a while. For a while lang po. When you say, oh, sir, I'm gonna submit to you the report in a while. You know, para sa atin, we say, okay, in a while, parang 10, 15, maybe 30 minutes. Pero when the client hears it, I'm gonna submit to you the report in a while. Ano, ilang oras ba yun? How many hours are you gonna send it to me? Diba? So, it's important for us to take note of this kasi we get misunderstanding talaga dito. We should use for a short while. Okay, for a short while. Kasi short while lang. Or for a bit. Or for a moment. Itong sabi ni MV, for a moment. That's a good one to use. Diba? Just give me a couple of moments. I'll send you the report in a short while. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't get a misunderstanding. Malaking misunderstanding yun. Okay, some more confusing word usage. Buksan mo yung ilaw, open the lights. Buksan mo yung computer, open the computer, diba? That's what we use. But when we say open the lights, meaning buksan mo yung bulb, that's what we mean. We say open the lights. That's what foreigners will think when you say open the lights. What, you're gonna open up the light bulb? Ganun. Buksan mo you're gonna open the computer. Okay, I'm going to open the computer, sir. Huh? So is there something wrong with the computer? Parang ganon. That's what's gonna come up in their head. So these confusing word usage, we can use the term turn on instead. I can turn on the lights or turn on the computer. Okay. Ano lang you have to be fluent? Ay, ano. Well, if nasa job post, iba naman yun. Well, sa job post, actually, yung iba default lang eh. Default settings lang. They don't change it. So, you can still apply. Ako, I'd still apply. If it's a job that you think you're qualified for, I'd still apply, to answer Maria Alvida's question. Okay, some more terms here. There versus there and there, diba? So this is something that we get mistaken. We make a lot of mistakes with. Okay, so what is the first one there? Because they all sound the same. Weird naman yung English na to, diba? There. But they all mean different things. So the first one means it's possessive. It means kanilang. Okay, there. THERE means andun, dun, there, diba? And lastly, there's that apostrophe, meaning it's shortened, diba? It's the contraction. They are. Okay, so their their food, or their chickens flew over there, diba? So which one do you use? Okay. Just looking at eat all you can din, sabi ni Raven. Eat all you can. um, it's all you can eat. All you can eat is what they use when I was in the States. Eat all you can, all you can eat. But it's kind of understandable naman. Eat all you can. It's a little bit confusing, but they use all you can eat. Sige. Some other confusing word usage is this one. Loose versus lose. Okay? Loose versus lose. So, lose is nawala, natalo. Okay? That's when you lose something. If you lose something, either nawala siya, or if you lose in a game, natalo ka. If something is loose, meaning maluwag siya. Okay, so these are the common mistakes that a lot of people make. Yeah, even native speakers get confused with there, and there. It is confusing. It is because it all sounds the same. We're, where, and we're. Okay, that's another one. We can also, but I don't think we have it here in this presentation. This one, price versus prize. This one I want to point out because it becomes very confusing between these two terms. So there's only one letter difference, diba? Pero, price in Filipino is presyo, and prize is premio. So one letter difference pa rin, diba? S, the C to Z, price to prize, presyo to premio, S to M. Okay, but so take note, we want to use the proper terms as much as possible. It is normal, yes. It is normal that there is confusion. That's right, as Anne is saying here. Well, we want to, as much as possible, use the correct terms more than use the wrong terms. Another thing here that we want to avoid siguro using is come again. Okay, come again. Come again can be something na X-rated actually, or R-rated. We say come again. A lot of people will think that way. A lot of clients will think that way. So instead, I would use I'm sorry. But when we don't hear somebody properly, a lot of us say come again. But we should use something like I'm sorry, or pardon, or I didn't catch that. Okay. Maria is saying advise versus advice. So advise, yung hard S, advise, with the ADVISE, that's when you're advising, yung verb, yung action of advising. Advice is yung noun. That's the noun itself of advice. Orange Guevara, on behalf versus in behalf. Oh, that's also confusing, but it's not as common naman. Orange is asking, what is the right way to say the word always in a sentence? Is it in the first word or last? Can you give a sentence to me, Orange, so that I can have an example of what you're talking about? You always make mistakes like that, or I always wash the dishes. You don't say I wash the dishes always. You can say that, pero it's a bit weird. So I always I always eat in Jollibee or something like that. You can use, so parang not the first word naman. Pero somewhat in the middle. Uh, Sometimes American versus British English spelling nakakalito. Yeah, flavor versus flavor, color and color. Meron pang mga iba, pero those are the common ones. All right, some more confusing words and terms. He or she. Okay, in Filipino, we don't use genders, diba? Siya, diba? Siya, the other person. Yeah. Pero in English, it's he or she. So one of the most common mistakes that Filipinos make is using the wrong gender pronoun. Na sa babae, ginagamit yung he. Sa lalaki, ginagamit yung she. But it can be confusing when native speakers hear that. You say, when you're talking about like your coworker na babae and you say, he didn't do it. Nakakalito when it comes to the client's mind. So let's try to practice. Kasi tayo, when we speak, we're used to na siya, diba? We don't think about whether male or female. Pero, yun nga, in English, in native English, we have to think, male or female ba siya? Diba? So, let's try to get used to that. Already versus already. We are already, lahat tayo ready, diba? Kapag already. Already meaning, ano, ganun na. Already na. We are already there. All right. Sometimes, let's look here. Always is an adverb of time, must come after a verb. Oh, may rule talaga. I always eat. I always eat in Jollibee. Diba? Well, there are rules, diba? Pero, yun. Favorite, that's British spelling, favorite and favorite. Makas, makdo. Horrible answer dun. Okay, moving on. Verb tenses. So we have, in English, there are a lot of verb tenses, and it can get very confusing. For example, there is the present tense, right? There's a present tense. I watch TV, right? And the past tense, I watched. Okay, and this is another common mistake that Filipinos make, diba? That we make. I watched TV earlier, pero I watched dapat, diba? So it can be confusing. I will watch TV tomorrow. I have watched. Okay, that's present perfect. I have watched. Okay, you've completed, yung completion mismo. I had watched when so and so happened. May future perfect pa. I will be watching. So, ang dami mga tenses talaga sa English. There's present progressive. I am watching. There's future progressive. I will be watching. There's past progressive. I was watching. Future perfect progressive. I will have been watching. And there's present perfect progressive. I have been watching. And then past perfect progressive. I had been watching. Okay. I'm showing this to you, pero you don't need to know these. Okay, you don't need to know these. It can be very confusing, right? And very overwhelming. Pero you don't need to know all of these. Don't try to if you're confused with it, don't try to know all the verb tenses. Ilan ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 different verb tenses. Diba? Mayroon pang I am watching, diba? So, yung present progressive, I'm watching. So there are a lot. Pero like I said, don't memorize all of these. There are only a few that we should use or we should be familiar with. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed. Ang dami naman, I have to understand all these. No. Just focus on a few. Simple present, I watch. Diba? I watch. That's simple present. Simple past or yung did. You can just use I watched or I did watch. Diba? So just focus on these. Simple perfect, I will watch. And then yung present progressive, I am watching. So these are the 4 verb tenses na I would focus on. Earlier we had, was it 12? 12 verb tenses we had earlier. Pero these are the 4 na you should familiarize yourself with. Depende talaga sa sentence, and there are mga patterns, pero it can get very, especially when you're trying to learn it, it's very overwhelming. And if you're starting to learn, don't try to memorize everything. Just focus on these four, okay? I watch, meaning simple present, something you continue doing. I am watching, ginawa mo ngayon at this specific moment in time. Past, simple past, and simple perfect. Just focus on these. Pahingi na, ano ng foods? Anong pinag-usapan nyo na foods? Commonly being used today. Foods. Hindi ko alam tong foods na to. When to use could, would, should, and shall. It's not covered here, pero sige, I can answer that naman. I'm looking over the overview. Sige, we can answer this question naman. Maria Victoria Beal is asking, when do you use could? Wait lang. Ayan, well, I'll just finish this example muna. Sorry. Na-distract ako. I'll just finish the example muna of the verb tenses, and I'll get to your question later, Maria. So, for example, if the client asks, did you finish the job? Or did you finish the report? Did you finish the research? So you can answer simple past or simple past with did. I finished the job. Or very easy, yung present, lagyan mo lang ng did. I did finish the job. So maging past na siya. Either I finished the job or I did finish the job. Not I did finish the job. Huwag mong i-combine yung dalawa, okay? Na I did finished pa. I did meaning natapos na. Finished, natapos na. So, parang dobleng natapos mo yung trabaho. So, I did finish or I finished the job. That's what you should use for the simple past. Or, we have the simple perfect. I will, a simple future, diba? Or, yeah. A simple perfect. I will finish the job. And then we have or you can use the present progressive, which is I am finishing the job. All right. So these are this is just the examples that you should be familiar with. All right. Don't focus on all of them. Just these few. Okay. Where was that question? Wala na yung question. For the last word, oh wait. Orange Lee Guevara, for the last word, stay safe always. Or first is always singing. You can use it either way. I know there's a rule, pero hindi naman siya that strict. So I wouldn't really, kasi ginagamit siya in depending on the phrase. It's sometimes in the beginning, sometimes in the end. So I wouldn't be too particular about it. Dyan po ako, saan ka nakamali, Jay? Jay Lee, a lot of rules. Yung mga tenses. Just focus on the few. Yeah, the four I mentioned earlier. Ito. Maria Beal's question, when to use could, would, should, or shall. Okay? Yung could meaning ability, meaning kaya niyang gawin. Could you do it? Parang can, diba? Can you do it? Meaning kaya mo bang gawin? You're not saying if gagawin mo ba. That's not the question. The question is, when you're saying can or could, is kaya niya bang gawin? He can do it. He could do it. Diba? Pero ayaw niya. He could do it, but he doesn't want to. Okay, I could do it. Meaning say, kaya ko naman gawin yun. Okay. I would do it or I will do it. Diba? I would do it, or yung simple lang natin. Okay. Can, will. Okay. Yung could, if we make it simple, can. Would, yung simple is will. So I will do it. And yung should, or should and shall iba yun. Yung I will do it, meaning gagawin ko siya. I would do it. Usually you say I would do it. Okay? Gawin ko naman sana. I would do it, pero naka-aksidente ako, diba? Parang ganun. I would have done it, diba? Gagawin ko naman sana. So, yung could, kayang gawin. Yung would, parang may willingness ka na dun. Yung willingness, you have the will to do it. Yung should is dapat mong gawin. Yeah, yung should. Yung shall is it is going to happen. He shall be judged, parang ganon. Mangyari talaga yun, yung shall. So that's the difference there to answer Maria Victoria's question. Yung may and might, he may baka niya go. Yeah. He may do it. They're both baka, may and might. Masakit sa tenga. Okay. Thank you so much. Very helpful. I'm just looking over the comments here. What's right to say? Pass the paper, or could you please pass the paper, or can you please pass the paper? Could. Can, when you say, can you please pass the paper, kaya mo bang i-pass yung paper? Oh, kaya ko naman gawin. Or would you? Actually, would you, diba? Would you is even more because you're asking na you're asking. You're not saying if kaya mong gawin. Make your language memorize, or you need to understand it. The word information. I'm just looking here. I'm not going over all the comments because ang daming mga comments. Coach should is like commanding. Shall is like offering. Could to use in request or permission. O could, parang permission, di ba? Kasi hindi naman, or would you please, could you please, pwede naman both. Pero technically, yung could is ability, yung would is may willingness na, parang ganun. May is possibility, might is slight possibility. Oh, good, nice input there as well, Neil. Okay, so moving forward here, how do you feel confident? Ito, di ba? We talked about yung mga hindi naman kailangan perfect, right? And we talked about the Filipinoisms. We talked about the tenses, ang daming tenses, pero just focus on the 4 I mentioned earlier. Okay, now that we've kind of covered all that, the question remains, how do you feel confident when speaking to clients? How do you feel confident? Well, actually, I'm just two words. First of all, relax. Relax. Find a way to relax as much as you can when you're speaking to your client, to a potential client. Na don't stress too much. Okay? We have so many thoughts in our head. Not only sa English, diba? Not only sa English, pero when it comes to our ability, when it comes to kaya ko bang i-answer yung question, kaya ko bang gawin yung trabaho, there's so many things in our head that are going on. But we have to just chill and relax. What I do a lot of the times is, I study, and even mga speaking engagements, I study, and then parang review. Pero like 15 minutes before the interview, I just relax. Because if you continue to be, parang diba stress tayo, we have an interview, you have parang you're giving a speech, something which I do. Stress kayo before that, right? And if you continue to bring that stress, halata sa interview, halata sa when you're talking, when you're sharing, and it will be bad for you when you bring that stress with you. So you can stress out muna before, like an hour before, pero mga 10 or 15 minutes before the interview, or before, like whenever I speak, I make sure na I relax. Because when you start, you should start relaxed. Hindi yung takot ka, di ba? Hello, my name is Jason. Parang ganun, di ba? When we have bilis ng heartbeat natin, we're breathing, try to chill, try to relax, meditate, do something relaxing muna, get your mind. I try not to think about the interview. Parang just do something else muna until like mga 5 minutes before, and I get back and start to prepare. Parang ganun. So try to relax as much as possible. Second, okay, so 2 words lang. Number 1 is chill. Okay, the second is practice. Practice really makes perfect. Right? We talked about not having perfect grammar, not having perfect English, but it's still important to be better if we can be better, right? So practice makes perfect. You can practice if you can do it at home with your friends, diba? And if you are in the boot camp, for example, there are a lot of you have mga classmates, especially if you join yung mga hustle challenge or yung mga internships, you have mga group mates dun na you can talk to, that you can message. I know there are some people who have become mga parang English accountability buddies. Yung ginawa nila is they sa ibang VA bootcamp students, is they've messaged them and they said, hey, practice na tayo, become my accountability partner, and they just practice to become better and better every single time. Okay, practicing to increase your confidence. So to improve your pronunciation, some ways to practice here, or some tips to practice here. You can watch mga TV shows or movies with subtitles. Okay, so that way habang binabasa mo siya, you also hear it being spoken. Okay? You know, reading books is good, pero sometimes you don't know yung pronunciation. So if you want to know the pronunciation, basahin mo siya while listening at the same time. May Netflix naman, ang dami natin may Netflix, di ba? A lot of us. And it's only like 150 pesos so, sa mobile, di ba? So, it's a good investment. Mag-Netflix kayo. Okay, rewind and repeat what they're saying. So, sometimes, you know, you have the subtitle, di ba? Most of the time, una yung subtitles, right? Before the actual they say the words. So what you can do is you can listen to something and then rewind and then basahin mo yung subtitle habang they're saying the same phrase para you can kind of compare your pronunciation to the actual pronunciation. Okay. So just as a side note here, we're talking about TV shows and movies with subtitles. We're not talking about mga Korean shows ha. Wag yung mga Crash Landing on You or ano ba yung mga ibang nakikita ko sa ads. Wag mo yung mga Korean. We're not talking about, I mean, it's okay to watch Korean or Japanese shows, pero if you're gonna practice English, dapat yung mga English shows naman, di ba? Or English movies. Sige. To improve your grammar and spelling, that's when you read a novel out loud. Okay, you can read it out loud, and then you can really see the grammar and the spelling there. When you read something out loud, it improves your own grammar because you're practicing it. You can hang out on Facebook groups that are US focused. Ako, I hang out a lot on Reddit, and it's parang 80% native English speakers there. So you see how they use mga words, how they use mga phrases, and then you learn while discussing with them. To improve your overall comfort or confidence, find someone to talk to. Like I mentioned, yung mga ibang boot campers, they have accountability buddies. You can join Toastmasters. That's another thing. Find an accountability buddy. Find an English-speaking partner online. Meron din. Or you can go to mga meetups din. Okay, let me look at the comments here. Where were we? Napansin ko po sir, iba po talaga ang grammar when in writing compared sa oral. Kasi po kapag oral and bigla nagiging rephrase na ang sentence. Oh, iba yung oral kasi you're thinking while you're saying it, 'di ba? So you can make a lot of mistakes with oral, even mga native speakers kasi binabago yung mga sinasabi nila. Conversing with correct grammar is somewhat difficult kasi you have to think. Yung writing, parang may time ka pa to think, right? I have to have a confident when speaking clients to just avoid nervous behavior. Take a deep breath. Relax. Take a deep breath, right? Correct. Practice makes English perfect. Practice makes me perfect in grammar. Sabi ni Joyce. Sakto jud te. Practice makes perfect, mga Bisaya. Mirroring is also good, diba? You mirror, you repeat what they say. Can't practice dahil pagtatawanan ng iba. Kaya find a partner online na hindi ka, they won't be laughing at you. It's okay not to be okay. Yeah, I watched that din. So it's a good show. Pero not to practice English, di ba? Korean, nagbabasa po ako ng subtitle ng K-drama para maintindihan. Pero not practicing English. Korean with sub. Ang dami mga Korean. There are a lot of good English movies and TV shows in English and Netflix. Okay, drama for practice. Thanks for the tip. Reading out loud. Pansin ko minsan yung subtitles ng non-English. Oo, yung mga subtitles din, may mga mali din minsan. Other people use dating apps just to talk. Pwede din, Anne, Alonzo. Pero make sure na yung mga asawa nyo, yung mga boyfriend nyo, they know about it. Baka it'll be a cause for dispute. Ano, nagtitinder ka? Okay, have a speaking partner, then set a commitment at least an hour a day. Wala ka na use Merriam Dictionary on your phone for the correct pronunciation. Yep, that's good. Sometimes I use Google. I'm gonna Google ko lang. Ako na pa-practice sa mga kids ko, mas magaling po sila mag-speak ng English sa akin. Very confident. Diba? Because they're not afraid to make mistakes. Sabi ni Angela, yung mga kids niya, ang galing nila. They're not afraid to make mistakes and kids watch a lot of English shows. They don't watch mga Korean shows, diba? So they have to read pa. They watch mga English-speaking stuff. Don't rely on Google Translate. Can you recommend some English movies that we can watch? We'll leave that to the audience. Mga audience, anong may recommend nyo? On Netflix, I'm not sure. What have I watched recently? I can't think of. I know there are, pero I can't think of them right now. The pressure. Biglang na pressure ako. So yeah, guys, try to give. I won't open my Netflix right now, pero try to give some suggestions on to Jobel. What English movies can you recommend for her to watch? Lord of the Rings, pero that's not on Netflix. Where can we find partners for online speaking? Does VA Bootcamp provide that? Also, we don't provide partners, pero yung iba naghanap ng accountability buddies. Especially when you're in yung what we call yung hustle challenge kasi may group kayo. So it's very easy for you to find a partner na ganun. Oh, iba talaga kapag may kausap ka. It's better kung native speaker. Sige. I see mga recommendations. V for Vendetta. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good story din. Is that on Netflix? Riverdale, there's Vampire Diaries, there's the originals, yung mga TV shows. I watch Community. Community is a good fun show. Anyway, moving on. That's not our discussion tonight. We have other discussions. Let me see here. Now, another thing that I want to point out, I want to talk to you guys about is Grammarly. Now, this is a very nice tool when it comes to written English. Let me try to pull up a Grammarly window here. Oops. Teka lang, give me a moment. And then, ito. And let me transition this. Ayan. You can still hear me, diba? So, Grammarly, what Grammarly is, I'm using Microsoft Edge. It's parang a plug-in into your browser. Wala to sa mga phones as far as I know. But it's on your computer. And usually when we're talking to clients, we're on the computer naman. So I highly recommend it. I'm using another one, Linguix, pero Grammarly has a very good free option. As you can see here, when you're typing, parang you can see recommendations. You can see ito, your, diba? To remove this, and it tells you what the rules are, what mga rules that you're breaking. It tells you itong may tone detector. Hindi to paid ad ha. We're advertising it for free. Pero it shows you ito mga suggestions. And even if how it works is that if you're writing something if you have Grammarly installed, install mo lang sa browser mo sa Chrome or sa Microsoft Edge or sa Safari, I think meron, and sa Firefox. It will automatically detect everything you're writing. If for example, you're writing an email sa Gmail, if you're writing a message sa Messenger, if you're replying to a client on Upwork, if you're writing a cover letter or your profiles, Upwork or online jobs, it will automatically detect when you're writing, and it will make suggestions. It will tell you about grammar mistakes you're making. It's not 100%. Let's say mga 95% tama si Grammarly. May mga 98% sabihin natin. So there's still a little bit na hindi siya perfect, pero it really helps din. I use Linguix right now, pero I've used Grammarly in the past. I highly recommend it talaga for all these different things. And you can use it with Microsoft Word and so on and so forth. So, and if you don't have it installed, well, for those of you that are here, who has it installed? Let me know. Who has it installed already? Or parang a competitor of Grammarly like Linguix? Let me know in the comments. And if you don't have it installed, I highly recommend that you do. Just go to Grammarly. Ito yung spelling niya sa taas. Grammarly.com and check it out. Okay, yun po yung advertisement natin for the day. We're not paid, pero hopefully they'll pay us for advertising them. The originals, yeah. I used to watch it, pero naging repetitive naman siya. Carmi, Grammarly, yes, meron po. Boss ko before foreign Taglish kami mag-usap kaya hindi ako natuto. Hindi siya yung natuto. Very useful Grammarly. A lot of people are using Grammarly. Yeah, Grammarly isn't perfect since nobody is perfect. Sabi ni June. Grammarly helped me a lot when I'm writing cover letter and when I'm writing my email. Kino-correct ni Grammarly yung mga wrong grammar ko, especially if I'm writing cover letter. Very helpful po talaga siya. Very, very helpful. as in, and it's automatic pa, diba? You don't have to, it's no hassle. Automatic siya nag-detect when you're writing. I always use that when making reports. Yes, Grammarly. A lot of you guys have Grammarly. Si Anne wala pa, diba? For those of you that don't have it, I do recommend installing it. May free naman, may paid, pero may free version. And the free version is very helpful. Like most of us are using the free version. Ginagamit ko yung paid parang one time lang. And then I use the free version. Kasi okay naman yung free version. Okay, back to the presentation. Over here. Oh, we only have 10 minutes left. Nako. Patay ako sa oras. Teka lang. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, parang ma-overtime tayo. Okay, so some best practices to communicate comfortably with clients. Ito, don't be so serious. We have Joker here. Don't be so serious. Don't be so formal. What we're used to kasi is when we're writing, di ba sa school, when we're applying for jobs dito sa atin, we're very formal, we're very serious. Pero based on our experience, when you apply, you know, when we apply to US clients, it's not the same. Especially small business owners. Parang chill lang, parang relax. It feels like you're chatting with kaibigan mo lang, di ba? And a lot of people, mga existing freelancers can probably say it na can back me up na parang chill lang. It's not sa atin mga boss, mga team leader, di ba? Parang we look up to them, we use very formal. Pero sa kanila, it's like classmate mo lang. That's how it is when you're talking to clients. And that's the kind of attitude we should have. Okay, hey, Mr. Client, ito, of course you're doing work for them, you're being paid, pero yung attitude mo when talking, hindi naman disrespectful, pero don't be serious, don't be overly formal, don't be formal. Next is get to the point. We're used to using mga flowery words when we're writing, di ba, before sa mga reports. We just add words para maging mahaba yung mga statements natin. Pero when we're talking to clients, they have businesses. And if you waste their time with a lot of information, they won't want to read your messages. They won't want to read your cover letters. So get to the point. So for example, okay, we have an example here. Na I'm applying for a job for a social media expert. Diba? I can say, good day, sir. My name is Jason Dula with a Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting. I graduated cum laude from the University of San Carlos. Diba? Instead of saying this, diba, this is ang haba, diba? I mean, this is what you'd usually say if we're applying like call center, parang ganon dito sa atin. Pero when we're applying for jobs online, we can say, I saw that you're looking for a social media expert. I'm here to help. Very short, direct to the point. I've been using social media extensively since 2007 for both personal and business use, and so on. So get direct to the point. Next is focus on what's important. Diba, like I said, in school, we usually make long reports, and that taught us to add a lot of words, and taught us to be beating around the bush, like Vivian is saying. But when it comes to dealing with actual clients, actual native speakers, we should get to the point as soon as possible. Rather, so on the left, wait, teka lang, spoiler pala to. On the left, we have the example, okay? The client's gonna say, do you think we should update our LinkedIn page profile? So, tapos si freelancer, sasabihin niya na, based on my experience with LinkedIn, I noticed that 67% of businesses update their profile every month, and 20% of personal profiles do the same. And if I were to decide, I would say that updating the profile picture would be a good idea. Haba, diba? Get to the point. If rather than, you can say something like this. Yep, last time we updated it was 2 years ago. Yeah. You can just say yes and get to the point directly, rather than use this example rather than this example right here. Diba? And one example is President Donald Trump. Diba? He said, this is something he said in 2008. Hillary is a very smart, tough, and very nice person. I know Hillary, and I think she'd make a great president. So let's not get political, pero as you can see, this guy became president. He's president right now, and he uses very simple words. He uses very short sentences. And yung mga, a lot of the times when we hear him speak, we're saying, ang basic ng English niya. But this is who the people voted for, right? So what I'm trying to say is, you don't need to be fancy when you're talking to clients. You don't need to use amazing words. You can just use simple words, simple sentences, and then you can become president, diba? Or you can get the job as a freelancer, right? Bisaya din si Coach Jason. Oh, Bisaya ko. Taga Cebu. That's why my Tagalog is a bit weird. Okay. For written communication, some more tips over here. Use proper punctuation. Okay, spelling and grammar. That shows that you're professional. Okay, that's why we have Grammarly. Diba? We talked about Grammarly earlier, and that helps us with punctuation, spelling, and grammar. Mas noticeable yung mga mistakes when it's written. When it's spoken, parang there's leeway. It's not very obvious when you make mistakes. When it's written, it's more obvious. So that's why like we recommend really installing Grammarly or something like that, and to avoid those mistakes. And the more complicated you make things, the more big words, the more flowery words we use, the more mistakes we're going to make. So keep it simple to keep it correct. You know. So just to summarize our tips, our final tips over here. Okay, pala yung oras natin. Final tips over here. Number 1, don't be too serious. Don't be too formal. You know, get straight to the point. Focus on what's important and use simple words and sentences. Okay. So that's the summary of the best practices to communicate comfortably. All right. Now we're getting to the end of this. But yeah, we do have the certificate. I'm going to give you the instructions to the certificate in a little bit, in a couple of minutes here. But before that, you know, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any other questions. And for all those who stayed on, I want to congratulate you on staying on learning new English skills, hopefully. And if you can share something, you know, share what you learned today, share it in the comments down below. Yung parang pinaka-importante na you learn or pinaka-impactful that you learned tonight. Okay, now before I give you the instructions on how to claim your certificate, we have, ito yung ad natin, yung Grammarly earlier. It wasn't really an ad, pero ito yung ad natin sa VA Bootcamp. As a lot of you may know, we do have the virtual assistant bootcamp. You know, if you want to learn more about becoming a virtual assistant, working online, then I highly recommend enrolling in the VA Bootcamp. In our accelerated package, we've also included the English course. Okay, so yung nasa gitna nga package, yung tig 7,990, it includes the English course already, so you don't have to pay extra for it. And it teaches you all the rules we talked about earlier, kahit yung mga prepositions, which is also very confusing. And if you're trying to get hired, we have yung Hustle Challenge. We have mga coaches, you have fellow students who you can interact with, you can ask questions with, and you can get support. Diba? I mentioned earlier yung accountability buddies. You can get support from them. Here is a testimonial from one of our students. Just would like to share my small milestone. May JSS na rin. Last month, this is very small. I'm having a hard time reading it. Last month, lang talaga ako ng seryoso, nag-focus. Now, she's enrolled for a while, pero recently lang siya nag-focus. Dati kasi, ano lang, by God's grace, naka 4 clients ako last month. Last month, naka 4 clients na siya. Yung dalawa tapos na, dalawa ongoing pa, tapos bukas, may isa pang magsasend ng contract. So, 5 lahat, diba? Thank you sa mga coaches, naging tulong ng mga QA interview sessions. Hindi ko makalimutan yung Q&A with Miss Bong, Miss Honey. Lumalakas ng loob ko sa pag-a-apply nung sinabi sa akin na parang huwag kang ma-intimidate, may relevant experience ka. Kaya fellow bootcampers, wag natin palampasin yung mga opportunities na binibigay sa atin ng mga coaches. Join tayo sa internships, Hustle Challenge, at maging active tayo sa live sessions kasi para sa improvement din naman natin yung activities. Next target, top rated naman. Sobrang layo pa pero alam mo na I'm on the right track, diba? So that's one of the experiences from our students, and we have a lot more success stories that we see. So we do recommend it, highly recommend enrolling in the bootcamp. If you do enroll in the bootcamp, you get to learn the skills you need to learn. There is a community, yung mga classmates, yung mga coaches to support you in your journey. May mga guides, you can get your questions answered, and a lot more. So very, seriously, if you found this webinar helpful, 1 hour lang to, diba? In the bootcamp, parang we have ilan hours naman? More than 10. Baka going 20 na yung time dun in the VA Bootcamp Accelerated. So, 1 hour pa lang, and I'm sure you got a lot of information, diba? So, yun, if you can, I would recommend joining the bootcamp. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for. How do you get your certificate? So we have some instructions here. And the instructions are also on that website. But share the webinar on your Facebook wall. You have to share it, take a screenshot of that, leave us a review on Facebook. The link is there on the form. You can get a link to the review, and then fill in this form, share with the screenshots, and I'll send the certificates by Friday. Today's the 15th. We'll send the certificates by the 21st or the 22nd. Sige. Deadline yung Friday. 22nd ko lang padalhin yung mga certificates. So, by the 22nd, I'll send you the certificates. So, get this done. Share the webinar, leave us a review, and then you're going to get this very nice looking certificate. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me go over the comments over here. Okay. Oh, instructions. I'll leave the instructions here. Thank you, thank you. You guys are very welcome. I won't read all your names. Ang daming comments. Gusto pa na matutunan yung freelancing. Ano pa bang first step na dapat kong gawin? Heidi, check out the freevacourse.com, or you can check out the bootcamp if you want a paid course. Just be confident. Ayun. You're welcome. We should avoid superfluous words. Flowery words. Ayun, you're very welcome, guys. Open for enrollment po ba kayo? Yes, open for enrollment. It's open for enrollment anytime. We don't have an enrollment period. We update the course naman, but walang enrollment period. I'm seriously thinking about getting a package because I've been following your videos for 2 weeks now. Oh, great to hear, Eliza. And you can send us an inquiry on the Facebook page. And yeah, I would recommend getting it, especially if you found this webinar helpful, diba? Parang proof na rin na we know how to teach. Thank you so much, Sir Jason. I was working for 2 years. My English is not that good and really not confident talking. Manood na lang ako ng lagi ng movie para ma-practice. Oh, Netflix. Mag-binge watch tayo. Blessed talaga ako tonight. Worth it. Good to hear. Thanks. Thank you for all the thanks. Got my certificate last year. So, take 2 muna pala to, Jerica. So you have the certificate from last year. This is the same one I did last year, and then a lot of people found it helpful. One lesson learned, accountability partner. How to join Hustle Challenge and internship. Christy, if you're a Vape Bootcamp student, check out the Facebook group, Christy Lagsa. Enrolled in basic course. May I know when I will get my completion certificate? Kapag natapos mo yung course, send us an email or send us a message on Facebook, on the Facebook page. Wag yung personal ko, on the Facebook page, to check your status. Pero if natapos mo lahat, yung quizzes, especially yung quizzes, then you can get your certificate. Very helpful. I want to enroll. Ayun, thank you for giving. Someone can give the link to Judith. Sabi ni Mahar, si Annalyn Serviano, top-rated na siya sa Upwork ngayon, and she's giving back the community by adopting. She's one of the, tama pala sabi ni Mahar, she's one of the adopters, adopting a newbie and guiding them. Sir, do you help us in looking at a client after finishing the courses? We do with a hustle, but we guide. We don't give you a client, but we guide you on finding a client in the hustle challenge. To answer Eliza Gutierrez's question. How to join adopting a newbie. Check out the Freelancers in the Philippines Facebook group, Christy Lagsa. There are yung guidelines andun. Ayan. Thank you, Mar, for answering that. Yes. Thank you for sharing your talent. Thank you. Highly appreciated this English Confidence 101. I recommend your accelerated package. All right. Okay. Looks like we are good to go tonight. Wala namang ibang questions ata. I hope you guys learned a lot. And you can get the free certificate. I'll be sending it out by next Saturday. Friday lang yung deadline. And then I'll end tonight's session with a quote. Diba? Relax. Life is too short to get stressed. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for staying on. Most of you guys stayed until the end. And yeah, I hope that you guys submit to get your certificate. Follow the instructions. And I'll see you next week. We're talking about the 3 pillars to a happier and healthier life. So next week, 8 p.m. on Saturday ulit. Bye-bye.